Welcome everyone. Got another video. This one came from a topic that was posted on my group. Schoolboy Lives 2. Some people have asked me, why is it called Schoolboy Lives 2? Because I had Schoolboy Lives group, and that's where I originally started posting all my videos before I got on YouTube. The reason this is number 2, Schoolboy Lives 2, because I lost my password. I can't get back in. I can't get back into my old profile, and I can't get in, which means I can't get into that group. So it's just out there. If you were a member, I guess you could get back into it, but I can't. So I just started a whole new profile and a whole new group. Same as before, nothing meant or intended for any illegal purposes. Talking about history, the past, concerning the American Pit Bull Terrier. And like I said, this one came from a topic in my group, and it's come up before. We spoke about it, but it's always good to rehash things, and maybe some new information comes up, or if I or someone else missed something in the first video, you cover it in the next video. I don't remember all what I talked about this in other chats, other vids and stuff, but basically it's how long or how many generations does it take for a non-active family of pit bulls to lose their gameness. Now, again, nothing meant for illegal purposes, but to put this in perspective, just like anything else, gameness is a trait. We don't know everything about it. We can speculate where it comes from. Some speculate, like myself, that is a lack of instinct for survival. Their self-preservation instinct is almost non-existent. Others contend that it is an instinct for survival. That's why they're so game, because they want to live. So again, I don't argue the point, and I've spoke about my, how I feel about gameness before. But with any sporting, working individual, if you don't, that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? But if you don't keep up whatever that function is for that dog or horse or bird or fish or whatever it is, it's going to be lost. Now, we've seen that in all kinds of breeds. We've seen that as it relates to pit bulls in the staffs. Does that mean that instinct is totally gone? No. Because there have been and could be and will be and are staffs that have not been bred for gameness for many, many generations. And every once in a while, one will pop out that's game. And, in today's atmosphere, we can't use that criterion no more. But there's some other things that we can talk about that involves the breed, that where it can display some level of heart, some level of work ethic, some level of durability and structure, because there's physical aspects that contribute to the mental gameness of a dog. That's disputed as well, because people will say a dog is game or it ain't. That's true. But like I mentioned in vids before, you can't have some weak, feeble individual, weak and feeble physically as well as mentally, and expect it to display gameness, or even a work ethic, or durability, toughness. The structure, as far as, good bone structure, thick bones, hard bones, solid muscle, thick skin, good teeth, high tolerance for pain, that willingness not to quit in whatever endeavor it's involved in, that's all related to gameness. Now, in the past, we had to see it through competition. That's how the dog displayed its gameness. Or in, what's known as the game test, that as well. And in today's time, we can see it, forms of it, in legal sports, weight pull, wall climb, treadmill race, and in hunting, hog hunting, catch dogs, even to some extent raccoons, hunting raccoons and coyotes, because I've seen dogs and I've known of dogs that will quit against a raccoon, pit bulls, and quit against hogs. And if we accept and understand that fatigue can lead to an individual quitting, then the treadmill race is a good way to find out where their mind is. Same with weight pull. If they don't want to do it anymore, whatever it is, they're going to quit. So, back to the original question, how long does it take? As soon as you stop a function, that's when it begins. Now, it could cover the spectrum of how many generations, or is it always there? Is it always lost? Is it lost forever? Can it be brought back? Yes to all those questions. Because there's been dogs, non-pit bulls, and I've seen them, that will fight. They fight like a pit bull. A German Shepherd, for example. I've seen one, he fought just like a German Shepherd. He didn't show any quit, took the holds and shook and went to the damaging spots and fought like I've seen tons of dogs fight. I don't know how game he was, but in that display, that role, whatever you want to call it, he didn't show any signs of quitting. So at least he had that intent for competition, to compete and fight on that level of where you have to have skill and understanding and knowledge of your opponent, anatomy and behavior, that he attacked, he used offense, defense, all that in that role. That was a German Shepherd, right? Vince Cooper, War Dog Incorporated, had a Doberman Pinscher that he would roll against his pit bulls, and he said the Doberman Pinscher stopped several pit bulls. So that's just another example. He wrote about it in an article called Gameness Is as Gameness Does. If you can research that, it's in the Sporty Dog Journal, I believe. And he talks about different aspects of gameness, like I have, where hound dogs will run themselves into the ground till their pads bleed and have a heart attack and die. That's gameness. Horses will keep running even with their leg broken, stuff like that. So every sporting or working animal has some level of gameness. Not the same as a pit bull. So how many generations does it take? It begins with that first generation. If that gameness is not kept or upheld or continued with, it starts declining right there. How long is it totally lost? Well, 3 or 4 generations seems to be the magic number with pit bulls and a lot of other species of animals, right? You can develop a new breed within 3 or 4 generations. You can establish your family of dogs within 3 or 4 generations. You can produce consistently the types of individuals you want within 3 or 4 generations. So why not lose gameness within 3 or 4 generations? But like I said, it begins the first generation if it's not upheld. And it's not just gameness, it's any kind of skill, any kind of temperament and behavior, because these are all traits, these are all within the individual. And if you breed the ones that have it, you have a better chance of producing and reproducing that trait, behavior, temperament, structure, ability, air, whatever it is, over and over again. That's how you keep it within a family of dogs. And if you're lacking something, you go find something that has it and you include it in family of dogs, and hopefully it is able to be passed on, or it's able to be included in your bloodline. So that is this is another one of those kind of short videos. There's not a lot to it because everybody has an opinion on it. But again, it doesn't have to be totally lost. And it's the same, you know, well, how long would it take for you to produce, you know, quote unquote, the fighting pit bull, you know, if you didn't have a pit bull. I don't know how long it took in the past, but I know that whatever instincts those people determined were fighting instincts and gameness instincts, those are the individuals they bred together to retain them and reproduce them. So again, within 3 or 4 generations, you could have something on that level, right? Now, it might take you 10 years, 15 years, 20 years until you get close to a pit bull, maybe longer. Like I said, I don't know how long it took in the past. I do know that they took the Molossers and the Mastiffs and those in, you know, in Samaria and Babylonia and Egypt and all the, you know, ancient cultures, quote unquote civilized cultures, and they they had what were called war dogs that they used to fight in war, right? Attack soldiers, defend their own soldiers, right? So from those types of dogs, that's what was developed into the fighting dog. And for me, you know, again, this is my opinion. Basically what they did on the off season or as a form of entertainment, sport, gambling, whatever it is, they took the individuals that were prone, those Molossers and Mastiffs, that were prone to fight each other and not quit, and put them together and bet on them. The same dogs they used to fight in wars or use as security or defensive animals, protection animals in war. Why do I say that? Because that's what is done with modern day pit bulls, in the sense that they're versatile. They have more than one function. People seem to think, because it's been written about, and nobody really knows, because unless somebody can back it up with where there's a transition of the bait dogs, the ratting dogs, the bear baiting and bull baiting dogs, where they stopped that function and took them into the next step of making them fighting dogs for competition with each other. That's generally what people think. It's my contention that those bear and baiting dogs and ratting dogs, those are the ones they use for fighting too. Just a different function. That was more popular. There's no reason to believe that they had to switch from one function to the other. Because at the same time that these same dogs that were used in ratting and bear baiting and bull baiting and all that, that were used in fighting, you could take those same fighting dogs, even today, and bear bait and bull bait with them, and rat with them if that was a legal competition. So that instinct never wavered, never stopped. They didn't have to transition from bull and bear baiting into dog fighting. It was already in them. They were already using them for that function. Just like in the distant past, those same war dogs that they were using for protection and attacking in war were the same dogs that were used in sport competition of dog fighting. Again, it's my opinion. I think it's an educated opinion. It follows the history of dogs and how they came from where they came from into Europe and eventually to the United States. So again, those instincts, if they are not upheld, if they are not kept, they're going to lose them. They may not be totally lost, but if you look at the numbers, it would be every once in a while you're going to have a game dog. Every once in a while you're going to have a functional animal like that. But just like with legal sports, if you keep those dogs within the legal sports, it's going to become part of their DNA. Just like the dog fighting is part of their DNA. And you're going to have dogs bred for particular function. That's what canines were intentionally meant as far as the human connection and the companionship. Working, sporting, companionship, protection, war, everything humans could think of where a dog could be viable, including transporting goods and, you know, all kinds of stuff. That's what makes dog man's best friend. They're very versatile. And the pit bull, in my opinion, is the best one at it. So, there's kind of an answer to how many generations, and but I think it's understood. If you discontinue using a dog for a function, it's going to lose that function. So, again, in today's time, what helps? Exercise them. Teach them something. Use the ones that have good work ethic. The ones that are structurally sound and temperamentally sound. They're dogs. Human connection, spiritual connection. That's all in place. It always has been, always will be. And you can get dogs to do all kinds of things. And being that the pit bull is so durable and so tough, they seem to persevere in whatever it is they can learn or whatever it is you can teach them. So hope you liked the vid. Another short one. Thanks for your support. More on the way.